The main character of this story is Saram Clive. He is a senior student at Levanian School. Tomorrow the students will write the first test exam, and today the classrooms were being prepared for the test, so the students were released early. Immediately after the school meeting, a seraphim girl named Liana Salas appeared on the horizon. She was the best student of the year and also the most popular girl in the school. Noticing the guy, she wishes him good luck in the exam. The main character was born into an average family and his grades were not the highest, but he was lucky to meet such a girl. True, this raised a lot of questions among other students, and even now, out of the corner of his ear, Saram heard his classmates discussing their couple. They are perplexed at what Liana could see in this homely boy. The girls think that they are not suitable for each other at all. Having gone home, Seraphim also began to think about this topic. In fact, he also could not understand why Liana liked him. In addition, he was worried about one more thing. His girlfriend is the first in academic performance, so he definitely won't be able to enter the same university as her. Disturbing thoughts begin to swarm in his head, whether he is good enough for her, and as soon as he thought that he would like to be like the hero of some novel, some kind of glow suddenly appeared above his head. The light becomes brighter and an unknown creature appears from it, which immediately greets Seraphim and reports that the activation was successful. Out of fear, the young man hid behind the closet, telling the unknown creature not to come closer if it didn't want to deal with his ruler. The creature gets angry and says that the system is not a joke, but the latest high-tech development of Planet X, where you need to complete the tasks of the system, and for this it will reward the participant. However, she informed Seraphim that for now he is an ordinary user, and in order to become its master and own the system, he will need to pass a test, and he adds that the system is already giving him the first task, which includes following his words and becoming one of the 10 best students in the class. Seraphim is perplexed as to how he can do this unless he can get into the top 10 of the worst, but the creature reminds him that the young man himself said how much he wants to achieve this, but if he does not complete the task, the system will be removed. The main character was scared, not only because an impossible task fell on him. He wanted to know if this flying girl would disappear along with the system, but the creature replied that she was not a devil, therefore she could not give him impossible tasks. Having said this, she directed an orange beam at Seraphim, which completely engulfed the young man. She had given him a free beginner's kit. It would expire in a month, and how far Saram could advance would depend on his willingness to work. Having finished the phrase, she said goodbye and disappeared into space, leaving the hero alone. Saram immediately decided to get into the system and try to find out more about all this. Suddenly he saw a column in which it was mentioned that the system had endowed him with a brilliant memory, and of course the young man immediately wants to check it. Taking the book and reading about a couple of pages, he was delighted. It all turned out to be true. He remembered everything. Continuing to admire what was happening, he suddenly came to the idea that if he did not complete the task, the system would immediately delete everything, and it turns out that he would simply have to continue living as before. Seraphim understands that, faced with ridicule and claims, he will not be able to do anything except endure or run away, but he understands that he no longer wants to put up with this because he finally has a chance to change his destiny. The hero must grab onto it now. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and his exam will begin tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. To be in shape, he needs at least 3 hours of sleep. As a result of these calculations, he comes to the conclusion that he has 14 to prepare hours and 15 seconds. He read and memorized 2 pages, spending a minute on 8 pages. In an hour he would learn 480 if he could remember all the answers to the Chinese and mathematics questions that might come up on the test tomorrow. If he succeeds, then he will increase the level of his knowledge by 100 points, and it is even quite possible that he will be able to score 600 points, the result of the best student in his class was 650 points, but if he could get 600 points he would be in the top 10 at 8 o'clock in the evening. He went to dinner, and even at this time he did not look up from his textbook. Even his mother admonished him to put the book down while eating. Having gone to her son at 1 o'clock in the morning, the woman also found him sitting behind a book. She reminded him that he had a test tomorrow, so it was time to go to bed. The time approached 3 in the morning, but Saram did not go to bed, but simply continued reading under the blanket with a flashlight. Suddenly a fairy appeared. She noticed how the young man was diligently studying, and before him 172 of his predecessors had failed. After all, even having received the strongest ability, without hard work it is impossible to achieve anything. Only those who are ready to work hard have a chance to experience this strongest system. As a result, the next day, already sitting in class, Sarapin was not in the best physical shape. He liked studying so much that he studied all night, even though he wanted to sleep, but still his efforts were not in vain. He looked at every question and remembered answers to them. Liana, noticing that her boyfriend looked tired, decided to ask if he was confident in his abilities. Looking at the girl with a tired look, but at the same time smiling contentedly, he stated that he was sure that now he would make it into the top 10. His companion was a little embarrassed. She didn't understand what was wrong with him. It seemed to her that he had somehow changed. This phrase was heard by the rest of the students. Muffled giggles were heard throughout the class, and someone even choked on their drink. Noticing this, Saram felt a little awkward. He himself had already realized how too presumptuous it sounded. Lena blushed a little and, smiling, told the guy that she believed in him. She got up and, having collected her things, said goodbye to Sarapin as she was going to the exam, and finally offered to meet later and have lunch together. The young man waved his hand at her